Hi, and welcome to HR Matters, the Issues Forum for December. I am Sharon Van Kilzonk, and I'm the Director of Human Resources for Human Capital Strategies, and I'm going to be the moderator today. I have with me, as a guest, Scott Sandberg. Scott is normally the moderator for HR Matters Issues Forum, and so this is a switch for him, but now we get to ask him questions. Scott has a rich history with retail in December, having had an extensive career of his own, chain jewelry stores, and then working in a corporate affiliation of the limited stores. So Scott, you are no stranger to retail in December.
No, I am not, and it's a fun time of year.
So Scott also has a master's degree in organizational psychology, so he's the perfect guest to address our topic today. So Scott, why do good managers love December?
I'll tell you what, I'm sure that I share the emotion with those that are listening out here. December for a retailer is like standing at the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 9th inning in the World Series. It's like standing at the base of Mount Everest. It's like standing on the balance beam in the Summer Olympics. It's all those things. Adrenaline's pumping. You're ready to go.
So is it about the numbers, Scott?
You know, it is kind of. But then it isn't really. In other words, you do all your planning, you look at the numbers, you set out your goals for each day and each week and each month, all the way through the November-December season. But when the doors open, it's not about numbers anymore. The people that come through, they have names, they have faces, they have needs, and it's about taking care of the customer. So yes, it is, but no, it isn't.
So would you say that holiday spending is still as big as it used to be?
Yes. In fact, let's share some numbers here. I'll give you 602 billion reasons why this is just a great season. That's what the American Retail Association says will be spent in retail from November to December this year. That's about a 3.5% increase from last year, and yes, the money is flowing.
So look at those zeros. We're talking billions of dollars. So is December a bigger deal for stores, retail stores like, say, the Limited, or is it as big of a deal for Massage Envy spas?
Well, yeah, you might say that they're typical gifts, but look what Massage Envy has. First of all, the whole wellness, if you look at it as a gift, is quite a nice package. It's a product. We have a lot of retail different gifts that we can sell in the stores, and our gift cards are great because they're super for people that don't like to wrap presents. You can't get better than to give somebody a gift card for a massage at Massage Envy. So no, I would say that we as stores have as much to give to holiday shoppers as the Limited or any other mall stores.
Okay, so we've established that you're not a stranger to retail in the holiday season, and you've worked for 2 large retailers and your own chain of stores. So let's look at this pie chart. Tell us about the percent of annual sales on here.
Well, you know, and you can see the purple there is representing almost half of the business happens between October through December, when it's only a quarter of the time. It's actually, for most businesses, that's what it is. Certainly for my jewelry stores it was. But if you looked at that instead of being sales, but looked at it as profits, it would even be more exaggerated, because you have fixed costs that come in each month for the stores. You have your rent, your common area maintenance, you have your payroll that you have to give, plus the benefits packages that you have, a lot of fixed costs. And when the money is flowing, November and December are where you make the profits to sustain the rest of the year. So yeah, this is a very important time of the year.
Great. So we're in the business of relieving stress, and to what extent is that a positive for Massage Envy?
Well, you know, everybody has stress, and this stress is a funny word. I mean, to me, stress is kind of how you get up. The adrenaline flows, and yes, there's stress, but I tend to function well with stress. However, there's some physiological side effects to all stress. Muscles get tight. For me, it's always my upper back and my neck muscles that get tight. That physiological effect of a stressful season is exactly what Massage Envy has as a remedy. So you bet. Let's go to the Greenberg study on stress. Next one, Johnny. The Greenberg study on stress is often quoted, and basically they did a large scientific study asking this question: how often do you experience the following emotions during the holidays? Fatigue was mentioned 68% of the time as often or sometimes. The next one is stress. 61% of the respondents said that they feel stress often or sometimes during the Christmas holiday season. Irritability fits in there too, and I guess you've all noticed that sometimes customers can be irritable. Now this next one, bloating, I'm not so sure. I didn't know that that was an emotion. I don't suffer from it, so I guess I never think about it, but there are 28% of the people out there that have that unfortunate bloating emotion during the year. And I don't know if massages help that or not, but let's say they
could,
do.
yes, probably.
All right, so the whole point of this chart is just to see that, yes, the season is one that produces stress, and that's exactly what we are. We are a destination for people with stress. People that are shopping, that are feeling stress, are obviously thinking of their loved ones and would love to give them relief from stress. And what's better than a massage?
Okay, so the table's set, money's flowing, and stress is rising. We've talked about the shoppers having stress, so how do managers get their teams ready? How do they deal with the stress of their employees?
You know, I guess that you get your team ready your own way. But here's what I have noticed. If you think of a $200,000 or $250,000 fourth quarter and you're trying to get the numbers to come in, it's kind of ominous. You stop. There's a big shadow. You look up at this big number and you think, how can we do it? But if you break it down into November and December, those are over 60 days that you have to work with. And you break that down to the 2 months, and you break that down into 9 weeks of the season. Those numbers in bites seem to work very well. For instance, let's break it down here. And if you have the first 4 weeks in November and the 5 weeks in December, depending on where the Saturdays fall, each one of them is important incrementally. You might have the second week of November broken down into days, and you know what you're going to do from last year and how you're going to increase for this year. You might have had the very best Thursday of the second week of November ever, and there's a reason to celebrate. When your employees come and they see what they have to do and they know the numbers and they can see that in just $350 more you'll beat last year's total, they get up for it. They get creative and amazing things happen. So what I'm saying is you get your team up by explaining that we can all do this together. These numbers are incremental. It's one step at a time. Let's have the very best Friday we've ever had and move on to Saturday tomorrow.
That's great, Scott. That's good information. So let's shift to the reality of business. Things happen. What do you do when things go wrong?
We would love to be able to give everybody the solution to that on the phone, on the webinar today. However, creative managers see a problem and they solve them themselves. So rather than me giving you how I might have done it, let's go ahead and open up the poll, Johnny. I'd like to ask, these 4 bullets that you see on the screen right now represent what we've heard from our Massage Envy clients as the issues that kind of come up in November, December. Scheduling problems, employees calling in sick, lower than projected gift card sales, and drama because of stress breaks out in the office. So let's do this. Let's have everybody respond in the poll to the one that's most likely to interfere with your November, December plans. We'll open it up for a few minutes and let everybody vote. We kind of need that music that they always play.
Do, do, do,
Very good.
That's Jeopardy.
Okay. We got some answers coming in here. Okay, we'll let us be open for just a few more seconds to make sure everybody has a chance to weigh in. Okay, let's go ahead and close the poll, Johnny. It looks like we have some agreement here that employees calling in sick is the number one reason that things go wrong. So I'd like to turn that around. Let's just discuss what can you do if somebody calls in sick, which kind of messes up the schedule. What can you do?
Well, and I've often seen in the planning stages, you plan for maybe one employee calling in sick, but how do you plan for several employees calling out? So maybe that can be part of the discussion.
Well, obviously, as a manager managing the office or managing the store, you have a list of people that you could call in. So you set that up that people are on call, especially when it comes to a therapist, because in essence that's where most of the issues come from in scheduling. And so you kind of set that up. So you not only have your people that are scheduled, but you make sure it's known through the month of December that if someone has a need, that they can be called in, that they can be reached. And then after that, you just make sure people wash their hands a lot, and you encourage them to come in, and everybody stay healthy. I'm surprised that somebody didn't put in the lower than projected gift card sales, because this is where most anxiety comes, I think, when you're behind in the numbers. So what do you do when you're behind in the numbers? Here's my advice. Each one of your employees can bear this same burden. You certainly, as a manager, shouldn't keep it from them. Say, look, we need to rally here. Our goal for each day of this week is X number of gift cards. So let's talk about, again, from our training, what we do and what we should say and helping people get them. And you just kind of role play and get people up and ready. And it's a natural process, and everybody's kind of up for it too. So you make sure that you address that not at the end of the month or at the end of the week, but every day. So.
And it's important to be encouraging amongst the employees. If they're calling out sick, then that could affect the lower than projected gift card sales. So if everyone can stay healthy, get to work, encourage those people that might be on call to come in and fill in those spots, because it gives them an opportunity to beef up those numbers for the company and for themselves as well.
Okay. Next. Sharon, I had a chance to talk to one of our managers, a very successful manager, Massage Envy, and I asked her the exact question, why good managers love December. And here's what she put. The month of December is the start of our busy season. We get a chance to touch so many lives with every gift we sell during the season. Advance. She says, the more gift cards we sell, the more awareness there is out there about a professional massage therapy. Next. As a manager, it is rewarding to see my staff come together during the busy season, all with such positive attitudes. Well, that's very glowing, and she brings up the point that it is about the numbers, but it's not. It's helping people, and they're her customers. And her team rallies and gets the same kind of holiday spirit to go. So yes, it is about the numbers, but it's not. It's really about customer service and satisfying the needs and helping people get gifts.
So Scott, December can make or break the year, and preparation's the key. So let's sum up what we've learned.
Okay. First of all, $602 billion is a number that everybody will remember from this presentation. That's a huge number. You obviously want to go hunting when the ducks are flying. You obviously want to have your doors open wide and be prepared when you have an opportunity for customers times 4 or 5 coming into your store. The second thing, the reality is that, like our manager said, it is not really about the numbers, it's about the people. It's about stress relief. It's about the gift of wellness. As you remember that is the purpose for Massage Envy, and that is really the higher purpose for coming to work in December, is touching the lives of many people. It does take the organization to break down the task into manageable chunks. A good manager will be able to do that and share that with his or her staff. And remember, December in retailing is a team sport. So that's what we've learned today.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks all of you for joining us, and I think we've touched on some usable information that you can take from this webinar and put into place immediately. Thanks everyone, and have a great December.